Hi Leo, welcome to your May 2020 Astrology 33 reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, I'm actually going to be taking a bit of a break from those, but keep an eye out on the community section of the channel where I'll make an update there if I start them up again soon, or worst case, by the time I do the June videos, I have an update for you guys there. As for what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic cross spread as always, and then I pulled a couple of Oracle cards for you guys, and also a Mudra card. So we'll get started with the main spread. The main situation position, we have the Seven of Cups. So this is actually a Scorpio energy here, and really the first thing that's coming to my mind for a lot of you, I feel like a lot of you want to move. So I don't know if this is saying, that you're looking at multiple different houses or maybe apartment complexes and trying to decide which one you want to go with, or if this is just relocating altogether, like to a different city or state, maybe even country. But that was the first thing that came to my mind when I saw this. Given that this is Scorpio is your fourth house, and this is a Scorpio energy card there, and then for others of you, this could just be saying that maybe you guys are just really getting a little stir crazy being stuck at home, and maybe you're like thinking of all these different plans of how you could, renovate where you're currently living, thinking about redecorating, and really just, still being indecisive though. So you feel like you might have like 50 different ideas in mind, but you can't decide on which one you want to go with. In the challenger obstacle position, we have the King of Wands and the Four of Wands. So this is actually the court card for your sign, and then the Four of Wands is Aries energy. So to me, this could just be saying that maybe for some of you, it could just be saying that you're getting in your own way, meaning that maybe you have like this really idealized way that you want things to go. So like I said, whether it's you want to move somewhere and maybe you're, being a bit unrealistic about where you would move to. So let's say you're looking at a place, just this is a generic example, maybe you're looking at a place that's way out of your budget right now or something like that, or it could just be as far as the renovations you want to do might be a bit impractical, something along those lines where I feel like, you definitely have this idea in mind, but it could just be that maybe it would take a little bit more work or resources to actually get that done. For others of you, this could even represent, I'm not feeling like this is going to be the case for the majority of you, but if for those of you, if this is more of a relationship theme, this could even say that maybe you guys might have, gotten into a conflict with the person you're with recently, and, now this is a matter of you trying to figure out how you could actually make up for that situation. But yeah, I feel like that's a much smaller percentage of you where that's going to be the case. For a lot of you, I feel like you're either wanting to move, or at the very least, you're, again, sick of being stuck at home, which I feel like everyone is at this point, and you just want to go, travel somewhere or something. And the reason I say that could be the case is in the foundation position, we have the Chariot, and this is actually Cancer energy, but this also represents movement and travel a lot of the times, and then seeing that the King of Wands is looking right down at that. I feel like this is saying for a lot of you, at the very least, you just really want to take a big trip somewhere. Like I said, understandable. I feel like everyone's getting a little stir crazy, getting cabin fever right now. So that's not at all too surprising if that's what you're feeling right now. But again, what stands out to me here, though, is that this is actually for you guys, Cancer is 12th house energy. So again, this can just be pointing to some confusion and maybe where you're not seeing things clearly right now. Maybe it's just like you're being a bit unrealistic about a certain plan you have in mind. And again, like I said, if it's around moving, it could be like you have too many options at play and then you're just really working yourself into a circle. Because if you think about it, if you have so many options, then it might mean that you may not be as sure about where you want to be as you think you are, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't have so many different, I could move to this city, this city, this city, this city. Then it's like, okay, well, you might need to actually figure out where you want to be and then go from there. But that's what I'm seeing there. In the past position, we have the Two of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles. So I will say that this at least does show me that you guys probably have had this plan for a while, and maybe that's the difficulty for you guys. Maybe you had like this really firm, solid plan in place, and maybe with all the uncertainty going on right now, financial and otherwise, right? Just uncertainty about states being shut down if you're in the US, different countries around the world have all kinds of lockdowns and stay at home orders. So maybe you had all these plans put in place. Maybe at the time you're like, okay, I don't have the money for the move I want to make right now, right? But then you really worked hard at it with the Knight of Swords energy, built up what you needed as far as the resources you needed, and then you were ready to finally come forward and make an offer. So again, whether it was making an offer on a house or just some kind of investments to beautify where you're already living, something along those lines. And now you might feel like all of it's put on hold, and you're like, well, great, now what, right? So to be fair, like I said, even if it seems like you're being unrealistic right now, it could just be that fact where it's something you worked so hard for, and now with all these external circumstances going on right now, those plans might be on hold for you, and it might be really getting under your skin right now. In the present position, we have the Knight of Cups. So this is actually Pisces energy here, which for you guys is your 8th house of, others' resources. So I do have to say, if this was around the fact that maybe you were waiting for some kind of a loan or an offer around that, in that regard, this can come forward for you guys soon. And if anything, I would say maybe around the time of the Scorpio full moon, because when we have that Scorpio full moon around the 7th or 8th of May, it's going to be trine Neptune in the sign of Pisces. So that might be that, that little spark that finally moves things forward in that regard, where, like I said, if there was some kind of a loan you've been waiting for, or maybe, as far as you might have been ready to make an offer on a house, but maybe that all of that was put on hold because maybe even, for example, if you did have a house in mind and you were ready to make an offer on it, maybe those people with all the stuff going on, maybe they reconsidered, well, maybe we can't sell the house. Maybe we need to stay where we're at for now. So, could have been some kind of delays around that in that regard. For others of you, this can represent where I was saying for some of you, I did see this as maybe it could be a relationship thing where maybe you might have gotten into a bit of a conflict with the person you're with. And as far as timing, I mean, that probably was around the time when Uranus is in Taurus right now. So Mars was in Aquarius, and it still is actually at the time I'm recording this. So when Mars made a square aspect with Uranus and Taurus, that might have been the timing where you guys could have had that conflict. And now maybe you're trying to make it up to the person. That could be how it's playing out for some of you in that regard. Or this could just be saying you're ready to make a love offer in general. Maybe this is saying maybe you've had a lot of options as far as dating goes. And you have this vision in your mind, all right, this is the type of relationship I want, but maybe it was just a matter of, okay, but who do I want that with, right? So maybe that's what all that's been around for you guys too, and now you're finally ready to move forward and make that offer to someone. In the near future position, we have the Moon and the 9 of Swords. So I do have to say, it looks like you're still going to have a lot of confusion right now and a lot of anxiety around decisions. Again, I feel like you might even feel like you're not seeing everything fully clearly right now too, but maybe you just can't figure out where that's coming from. And that could be where your anxiety is coming from. Or again, like I said, for some of you, it could be just a matter of you may be overthinking something. And then that could be causing the problems there where, you're putting too much energy on your thought process, and then that's actually burning you out in the process. But that's what I'm seeing there. This could, again, be maybe another indicator of that Scorpio full moon, especially since I see some Scorpio energy quite a bit in your reading. And again, that's 4th house matters too. So again, I feel like this is around home and moving. So could just be, again, pointing to that energy. And hopefully that means that full moon will clear that up for you guys. In the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Death card. So this is the major arcana card for Scorpio. So I feel like this does, at the very least, show that you are finally ready to make that decision. And that along with that Knight of Cups energy. So I feel like, could just be saying that this is finally it. You've gotten to the point where like I said, maybe there was an external blockage holding things up for you guys, and maybe that's cleared up, because there's definitely a connection there too with this full moon taking place in your fourth house of Scorpio, and then when it makes that connection with Neptune in Pisces, that's your eighth house, and Scorpio is the natural ruler of the eighth house. So something around that time of that full moon might actually move things forward for you guys, where you actually can make a decision. Or again, like I said, if there are resources you were waiting on, maybe that's what's going to take place there. It gets that moving for you. All right, in the environment position, we have the Queen of Swords. So I will say the good thing here is that this may be someone in your environment who might actually help ground you a little bit, as far as to say, okay, let's look at this from a really practical, logical standpoint, right? This could even be, for example, if you're dealing with a real estate agent, maybe they're, being very honest with you about, okay, this is what you can do, right? This can represent negotiations as well, and the good thing is if this is an indicator of negotiations, there would be fairness at play. So again, I do have to say, though, in a negative sense, where if it is that you guys are being unrealistic about, what you can get, right, what's in your budget right now, this person might be the type to say, well, we can't approve you for that level of a loan, so it could be one of those things. But at the very least, seeing this card show up in this position, if they do tell you that, I do feel like they're being honest with you, they're just being straightforward. And like I said, it could just be that you have a lack of clarity around the situation right now. And if this is around a relationship, this can be saying that you can restore the balance with this person, but it could just be one of those things where, they're going to want fairness. So depending on how much of an issue what you did was, right, if there was an argument or something along those lines in the past, they just want to make sure that you actually put in the work to fix the situation before they let you back in. So something to keep in mind there. All right. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Sun, the Six of Pentacles, and the Queen of Wands in reverse. So, to me, I feel like this is more of a hope, with the Sun card, of course, and then the Six of Pentacles representing balance being restored. And then that Queen of Wands is actually, this is the court card for Aries. So I would say you guys, again, you do have Mars moving through your opposite sign, so this could just be saying that around the conflict you might have had with the person you're with, this is just saying that you're hoping to restore balance. And then again, when you do have Mars moving through your opposite sign, there can be conflicts, so that's not too uncommon. And like I said, especially because it made that difficult aspect with Uranus, there could have definitely been an argument around that time. So maybe this is you, again, just hoping to restore the balance there. And we do have the Six of Swords at the bottom of the deck, too, which represents moving to calmer waters. So, again, this could be you guys just wanting to reconcile with someone. And in the outcome position, we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So, I mean, to me, the main indicator here is just saying that the timing just might not be right for whatever the situation is that you have going on right now. To see the Wheel of Fortune, it's still somewhat positive even when it's in reverse. But to me, usually when I see this come up in reverse, it's not saying that this won't happen, but it's just a matter of there's going to be a delay. The timing just isn't right now. So, and I do have to say we're going to have Venus turn in retrograde this month too, so it's already in shadow, so that could be slowing things up around finances as well on any kinds of negotiations you have going on. So that could be what's at play there. And moving on to your oracle cards, first card we have is Time for a Nap. There's the artwork, and the number is 24. Okay, it says rest, rejuvenation, and renewal, temporary non-action, allowing dreams to arise. The oracle's message: this is the time to step away and rest. Let the cares of your world go. Go into a state of non-action and allow yourself to be free of the shackles of your goals, your list, your desires. Nothing is as important as rest, detachment, and neutrality. The overly busy mind can block you from inner wisdom if you don't step back, take a seat, and rest. Be willing to let dreams surface and ideas flow through you, absent any force or conscious direction, as you observe without engagement now. So definitely an interesting message there, and I mean that definitely makes me think of the Seven of Cups energy and also the Moon with the Nine of Swords. So hopefully that resonated with you guys. The relationship message says when it comes to matters of the heart, don't make any plans right now. If you're not partnered, it's good to take this time out to get to know yourself. If you're involved with someone, relax and just be with your partner. This is going to be an uneventful moment in time. Don't force anything now. Allow things to flow naturally, and a beautiful renewal will take place all by itself. Patience is the key to your heart's desire right now. Withdraw from action in your relationship and give it a rest so that your love and connection can become rejuvenated. So definitely a pretty solid message there as well. Hopefully that resonated with you. And then the prosperity message says this is a great time to take a break from your busy schedule and allow yourself the opportunity to step back. Your plans are meant to be put on ice. Your goals can wait. Dream, imagine, and let go of attachments to any outcome now. Meditate and take a holiday if you can. Things will speed up soon enough. After a break, you may want to make some changes. Epiphanies have an amazing way of arising when you take your focus off your to-do list and allow yourself to rest. So definitely pretty interesting message there as well. And like I said, I could see where that's playing out in the main spread too with some of the themes that we mentioned earlier. So hopefully that does resonate for you guys. And then it did mention, taking holidays. So with the chariot there, I guess, as things start to open up, if you guys can take a trip, you may want to do so. But hopefully that resonated. And you actually got a second card from this deck that came out as well. And it's Neverending Story. There's the artwork, and the number is 37. So we'll read that as well. I feel like that first one resonated pretty well with the main spread, but we'll see what this one has to say. Okay, it says self-criticism, the wounded ego, unnecessary dramas. The Oracle's message: there is a story woven through the imperfect fabric of life that tells of hurt and loss, rejection and humiliation, self-loathing and arrogance, and all manner of suffering born of unnecessary dramas. It is the old story whose refrain is that you cannot do this, must not go there, should not say that, lest your world come crumbling down. Crumbling down, wow. Sorry. Today, know that none of this is actually true. The sky is not falling. The voice you hear is just a small, scared, conditioned part of you that got stuck in a lie, wants to protect you, and needs to be seen as a victim. Love that lost piece of you. Fear is all it knows. Distorted guidance is preventing you from being true to yourself. You are not your story, and the narrator is simply the voice of your fearful part, small and vulnerable and easily soothed. So definitely an interesting message there. Hopefully that resonated with you guys as well. And then the relationship message says, sometimes your heart enters into a contract with another that results in pain, not because of abuse or neglect, but for other more complex reasons. Shame, fear of intimacy, and low self-esteem are the greatest challenges to the success of a relationship. Consider how valuable this knowledge is, however. Right now you have an opportunity for important healing, but you must reflect on the stories you weave about love, connection, abandonment, rejection, and loneliness. Not only do you need to begin a new story, you need to forgive yourself for telling yourself the old ones. Have compassion for the part of you that believes all those narratives. None of them were ever true anyway. So definitely a pretty good message there as well. And then I guess maybe this could point to possible self-sabotage in that regard, if it's in context to what we see there. I didn't necessarily pick up on that per se. I thought that maybe it was more of like some kind of an argument, but hopefully that resonates for some of you at least. And then the prosperity message says fear, envy, procrastination, greed, and the perception of victimhood could all be active in your life at this moment. Are you comparing yourself with others, thinking their success should be yours? Maybe you're afraid of all the good that is coming your way, so you step out of your lane, totally aware of what you're doing, but seemingly powerless to stop yourself. Are you back where you started, or in a situation that reminds you of past failures? Financial insecurity scaring you? You must learn to love yourself through missteps and sabotaging moments. Use criticism constructively right now. Better yet, stop telling this story altogether. Make up a new one. The universe loves you deeply and will wait for you to figure that out. Tell a new story, and success is all but guaranteed. You can do it. So definitely interesting there, and maybe this is pointing to that full moon in your fourth house being a little bit deeper than I thought initially, as far as fourth house can represent ideas and beliefs that we have from our early upbringing, and maybe those are just things that you've held on, and maybe those were some self-limiting beliefs in some way. Like I said, I didn't really pick up on like a self-sabotage vibe early through the spread, but for those of you where this message does resonate, maybe that's what the Seven of Cups energy, the moon, and the Nine of Swords energy is pointing to. So hopefully that did resonate for those of you who are in that situation. All right. Next we have Hummingbird Spirit. It says, be here now. There's the artwork, and the number is 34. Okay. It says, the hummingbird's wings beat so swiftly it can hover in seeming stillness as it drinks deeply from a flower. Hummingbird spirit comes to remind you that the beauty and sweetness of life is in the eternal now, the timeless present. Here and now, you are becoming the person you wish to be, to have the experiences you wish to have. Focus your energy on the flower before you, for what you desire is being provided. Yes, there are blossoms everywhere. The choices can be dazzling. Hummingbird Spirit's message is that you have no need to go about in search of something better, for all that you require and desire is before you. You will know this as you become still, feeling your connection to Spirit who loves you unconditionally and will always provide for you. So definitely an interesting message there, and I feel like that's hopefully resonates with you guys as far as, like I said, with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Maybe you just feel like this urge to make some kind of a move, and maybe this is just saying that, the timing isn't right. And like I said, everyone I feel like is getting a little stir crazy and all kinds of cabin fever right now, so maybe it's just saying that this is something that will pass if you just give it a little bit more time. Alright. Next, we have a mudra for you guys, and the mudra you guys got is the Apana mudra, and the keyword for it is release. So it sounds like that could be beneficial for this energy if this has been resonating for you guys. Alright, there's the info on it. And under benefits, it says general detoxifying effect on the body, improves elimination, reduces constipation, benefits the urinary bladder and uterus, regulates menstruation, clarifies the skin. So if that sounds like something you think would be beneficial for you guys, I'll leave the name of the mudra in the description of the video as always. We'll wrap up there, guys, and I'll talk to you all next month. Alright, bye.